It's not on.
Steve, is this thing on?
Oh my God, so many voices. So many voices. Oh, it's one of those days, kids. But look, we have a full house. Say hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hi, everybody. We're waiting for the man of the hour. He will return to us very shortly, I'm sure. But while we're waiting, let's check in with everyone. Let's start with Vera because she's next to me, as per usual. How you doing, gorgeous?
I'm doing well. Having a good week. Heading to a 3-day weekend this weekend. No plans, but laundry. But I'm really excited about it.
Laundry.
Get
That's
that
some
laundry,
exciting
Vera.
time. That's some exciting times. Then we have. Oh, sorry, go Vera.
I was just going to say we bought a new washer. I'm kind of excited.
Oh, I got to trial run that shit. The lovely Katie McCarthy's back with us this week.
Hi, guys. No more family emergencies. I can come back to this family emergency.
Well, we're always a family emergency.
You guys are always an emergency, always a wreck. But I love you.
Look, speaking of someone who's returned to us, Luke, it's been a little while since we've seen you. How are you?
It really has. I'm great. Look, I'm obviously doing 9 to 5 now, so it's a little harder for me to be doing the live. I'm so glad I have this week off, and and life's great. I go to bed every night, so.
Are you saying you get some sleep after our Real Talk roundtable? That's crazy.
Oh my God, you sleep? What's that like?
I self-care.
Oh, here he is. Hi, Jeffrey Emmett. How are you?
Hey, Daddy.
I'm outside in the storm. I don't know if you can hear the water roaring, but
it sounds so good.
Jeffrey, I need to ask you something. And everyone else needs to sit here looking shocked. Ready? That's your direction. Okay. You've never seen it miss this house and miss that house and come straight after you. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you feel okay?
Was that Twister?
That was Twister. Thank you. Thank you.
I was just watching that the other day.
From one award-winning artist.
Who delivered that line? Was it Helen?
That was Helen Hunt. But we have our very own blonde bombshell returning to us after a delay, but she's a forced return. Hey, Katie.
Hi.
How are you, Miss Underwood? Tell us about your life in new lockdown.
I'm good. The state of Victoria has been kind enough to bless us with a week off work. Yay!
Is it paid?
So Melbourne lockdown. We've got a few cases, but the news today in Melbourne is good news. There's only 4 new cases after 50,000 tests were done yesterday across Victoria.
Vera,
They're very happy with those numbers, so I feel quietly optimistic if that's where it's at for us, that we will get released from our state-induced bondage in a week. But in the meantime, I'm already up 2 batch-cooked curries. There are cupcake cooking classes on the menu later today, and no doubt we'll be cooking and baking and creating and Legoing and Monopolying quite a bit over the next week. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
So Katie, from one Katie to another, how many cases did it take to get you guys to go into lockdown? I'm really curious.
Not as many probably as you guys would have. So we had...
That's why I'm trying to hear this.
To give you some context, at the moment there are 36 active cases in Victoria.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're concerned because it's the Indian COVID variant, and that apparently is more contagious and spreads faster. So they're just kind of, Australia has this technique now where they just quickly do snap lockdowns for each state when cases emerge. They get on top of it very quickly and then they release us all. So I think, look, it's a great strategy. I'd rather be locked down for a week than have to do another few months because they act too late. So, hats off to the people in control of these things, as irritating as it is from a business perspective, from a health perspective. It's very reassuring. I feel like, our government really has a handle on how to act when things go south. So
I have to ask, why is it always Melbourne?
Because it's a big house.
Because we're the coolest. Like, can I just share
Vera,
Like one of the most hilarious things about this contact tracing is they identified one of the early cases in this cluster, and it was such a joke for Melbourne people because like this dude or guy or whoever it was clearly went on a club hopping tour across Melbourne.
Oh my God.
It's like from 9 till 11 they were at this bar, from 11 to 1 they were here, from maybe 12:30 to 3 they were here, and then 4:30 afterwards.
At least he went out with a bang. My God.
And
It's
look,
like, classic night out in Melbourne. So it was very amusing to read that.
who he was in and out of that time is, left to mystery. Because did you hear the one in Sydney about that older guy and they couldn't figure it? So there was this older gentleman, like I think he was like late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, careful.
Late
Yeah, I was gonna
40s,
say,
early
is
50s.
that old?
No, like he was actually he could be 50, 60. We're all getting older. It's okay. And they couldn't figure it. Him and his wife got it. But they couldn't figure out how he actually got it. I was like, someone's been dipping a wick where they shouldn't have been, I think.
That's a bit rude.
And it disappeared off the news. It disappeared off the news, though.
Rude.
It disappeared off the news. It's like, someone's been doing a naughty.
They have 4 cases in Melbourne in a week, and we have 4 cases a day in Cuba County, and we're opening everything up.
I was going to say 36 cases. That's like how many people are in the hospital, not just how many people are positive in New York City.
Oh, look, I mean, I think it's just we've all learned from last year that things can get away from us very quickly if they don't act fast. So they're probably acting faster and more radically than they ever have. But I think that's, wisdom of experience. So,
yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Well, we figured it out. We just didn't do it.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like I just needed to put that up for what just Steve said.
It's too late.
Right,
It's
yeah.
too late, baby.
Too late.
I don't care. Ain't nobody coming after me. Ain't nobody coming after me.
Wait,
So
hold on. Can we just
before we get into the big news, it's very soothing.
Right? Let's take a minute.
Very soothing. Before we get on to the big news, Jeffrey, we have to ask you because you're the papa. This week is a big anniversary, so how does it feel to still be here 10 years later?
With like a semi hiatus.
Fatter, single.
Oh, I feel that. I don't feel that.
And like my siblings abandoned me with like a bunch of trouble cousins.
Wow.
Just kidding. I love you all.
No, you don't.
You got the cooler, more efficient ones that stayed around. Oh, work. I'm causing trouble left, right, and center today. But speaking of trouble, we might as well jump into this week's
hot load of hot topics.
Oh, Vera, every time.
Vera,
so
I know.
Hot.
It's such an impressive vocal.
It really
Now,
is.
I want to start out. Where are we? There's some funny ass stories today, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room. So basically, a previously undisclosed U.S. intelligence report contained information that 3 researchers from China's Wuhan Institute of Virology had to be hospitalized due to illness in November of 2019, with symptoms consistent with both COVID-19 and common seasonal illness, according to a Wall Street Journal report. Are we surprised? And Vera, you can go first because you had your hand up.
I have questions. Do we really believe that the U.S. government had this report and Donald Trump didn't know about it? He was the president when allegedly the U.S. government had this report, and he was trying to prove that this came out of a lab in China.
I agree.
Yeah, but Trump doesn't read. Trump doesn't read.
That's true. Can I go next?
He
Can I go
doesn't,
next?
but there are people around him that do.
Like there were already too many words in that article. Like once he gets to number 5, I mean, allegedly he used to ask for his briefings to be in diagrammatic or video form. So if that tells us anything about how across current events Trump was, he didn't know.
I'd like to go next.
Okay.
Well, here's my thing. So it says like symptoms that are consistent with COVID-19 and seasonal illness. So like the guy could have had the flu. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a possibility that this theory that it leaked from a lab is possible, but I'm saying, like, from the start, we were saying it's so hard to determine, is this a common cold? Is it COVID-19? So why are we immediately jumping on the Trump was right all along? It was leaked from the lab. Don't give that guy credit, please.
No, I do believe that President Biden is being very strategic. I think that's the first time I've said that on air. President Biden is being very strategic, and he's trying to address the rumor mill that Trump created. I do believe that, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Well, look.
I think he knew all along.
Jeffrey's going to mute himself in and out because he's got Meryl Streep, the River Wild, going in the background.
You might say he's going a bit batty.
Look, he's a wanker. Yeah, that crashed there, didn't it, Katie?
Yeah.
Woo. Are you out of practice, girl?
I am out of practice.
That's a stinker.
Sorry, guys.
But speaking of
girl.
The Donald,
I'm muting myself.
the Donald is still in the news because when StreamYard wants to play with me again, why? So he basically, I'm not going to read this whole statement because it hurts my brain. Basically, he's claiming that there are deleted votes. He's still trying to say that he won the election.
I know.
It's as plain as the bad tan on his face now, right? That it's over, Donnie. Like,
it's been over since January 6th. He can't accept it, and his minions are running around screwing shit up. They just released a report. The state of Arizona Secretary of State released a report last week saying they have to replace all of the voting machines in Maricopa County because they've been so badly tampered with the president's audit committee.
That's what you get for the land of the free, home of the brave, right?
Oh, jeez.
Like, oh. Speaking of scary people in politics, I kind of laughed out loud when I saw this article. But so Mark McCloskey is a 63-year-old personal injury lawyer. Told Tucker Carlson, God came knocking on my door last summer, disguised as an angry mob, and it really woke me up. After making the news worldwide last year when Black Lives Matter protesters entered their property, the McCloskeys have pleaded not guilty to weapons and evidence tampering offences. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons said he will pardon the couple if they are convicted. Mr. McCloskey is running as a Republican candidate for the Senate seat left vacant after incumbent Roy Blunt, Pastor Blunt, announced he will step down at next year's midterm elections. I can't read today either.
Oh, God. Can we just stop it, like, personal injury lawyer and go, yeah, nah, man.
Stop.
No.
You would hope
Just no.
You would hope so, but no. This country is so screwed
Look,
up.
I know there are some
possible.
I know there are some subtleties about, land of the free over there, but in what universe is it acceptable for an ordinary civilian to have a frigging assault rifle? Is that not what that was? Like,
Man,
I see pictures of like armed forces in the Middle East with that, but
it was
what the hell
total
is
recall
that
shit
about? I just, like, on your lawn, like, sorry, I will never be able to just go, oh yeah, that's normal. Like,
I love
people.
I love the wife's tiny gun. Look at hers.
Right.
I know, she's divine. She's fine.
It looks like Boris and Natasha, like in the suburbs from Rocky and Bullwinkle. She's like, darling, I have tiny gun. Where is Moose and Squirrel?
He has an assault rifle because he has his Second Amendment right to bear arms, and he has to protect himself from the tyranny. Okay, they're coming for him.
Yeah.
Can I be devil advocate here?
That,
No.
Go, Luke.
No.
Go, Luke.
There's absolutely nothing you can do to justify an assault rifle.
I don't justify it at all. Like, you all know, I'm actually anti-gun. But I'm just going to say, with that constitution, like, people should not be trespassing on their land. That should not have happened. That's a criminal offense.
They were not on their land. That's a misrepresentation. They were on.
Well, I'm just reading the article in front of me, girl. That's all. I'm going off the article in front of me.
If we're gonna play that game, let's play whose land is it really?
Well, I'm just going to say, though, if you have your Second Amendment and then all this press, then I kind of understand why he would use that to try and run for a government position because, you know, land free and money. So
look at their house. There's definitely money.
Listen, there were black people
definitely.
in front of their house. That doesn't look nice to them. They got to get them off.
They got rid of the lawn jockeys so many years ago, and now the black people are back on their lawn.
Oh, God,
Get them
not the black
away, they
people.
say.
Oh,
Get them
not the black
away.
people, Lord.
I know. I'm gonna find a better intro to the story that Jeff wants me to talk about because we can't go from that to that because
No, we really
it's not
can't.
very nice.
It's
So speaking of,
by the way, I really was being devil's advocate then. I actually.
You play devil's avocado as much as you like. So
we don't believe you.
we're gonna jump from one internet meme taking over the world to one that we've lost. Can we RIP for Charlie Bit My Finger?
Oh,
So
Charlie?
have you never seen Charlie Bit My Finger, Katie Underwood?
No.
Apparently, I haven't. Yeah.
I
Okay,
haven't
well,
either, Katie.
so a very
Whitney.
very famous YouTube clip it's all happened now. The clip will be deleted from YouTube 14 years after it's uploaded by UK man Howard Davis Carr and has been viewed more than 882 million times. The clip will be offered as an NFT in an online auction where the buyer also getting to create a parody of the video with the now grown children. I think it went for sale for like $500,000 for like the rights to a clip of like 30 seconds or so about a little boy sticking his finger in his brother's mouth and his brother bit him.
Charlie bit
It's a
me.
sick world.
That's the
Okay.
world we live in today, guys.
I'm just
Okay.
mad I don't have that clip.
Yeah,
Well,
this
no
is
one
why
has
I
it
don't.
now.
Well,
Yeah.
I just want a little clip that I can sell for $500,000.
You never know, Vera. You could be making that clip right now.
Katie's keeping
Yeah.
all those behind the scenes Bardo things underneath the tube, you know. One
got
day.
Oh,
I
know.
know, right? I know, right? She got nothing. She's like, I wish I would have had a camcorder back in the day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right. Underwood, the understory.
I'm glad the internet didn't exist back in my day. That was.
I know.
Yeah.
Imagine the truth the internet could have told back then, Katie. The drama of it all.
Oh, yes.
All right, sorry. Jeffrey wants me to talk about something which we were supposed to talk about at the beginning of the show, but you know, we had a little technical difficulty and we lost poor Jeffrey. It sounds like he like passed away, but he did not.
Jeff's about to
He's
have a
still-
stroke.
He's still with us. We're not gonna our heart will go on with you, Jeffrey. So this week we were jam-packed with information for you. So yesterday we did a Real Talk Roundtable with Jeffrey and Vera and Luke and Katie Underwood about self-care, which was really, really great. But we also had a really special show on the Tuesday night American time, Wednesday day here, about a family that is going through the journey of their son and his learning to cope in the modern day with autism. Jeff, do you want to talk very quickly about it as I put the link up on the screen?
So Michael was diagnosed very young with autism. He's nonverbal. He's just kind of learning to speak and communicate with his family. They've kind of gone through a very long journey. You know, Dad had to leave his job to stay home. Full-time care is super expensive. And when you have a nonverbal kid, that's kind of scary to think about leaving them with somebody. So this family, the two people, they come from families that they didn't own homes, and they want to provide this child with a safe place to learn and grow with him. Because being in a rental too, when you're dealing with a kid that's nonverbal, you know, you have a lot of behavioral issues where things get destroyed and get ruined. When you're renting, that becomes a problem. Or, you know, the child's mad and he's banging things on the wall. You're annoying the hell out of neighbors. So it's not easy. So if you've had somebody in your family or your life that's been affected by autism, you know, $10. It's not asking for much. Just go and send this family. Like, let's help get them a dream and get them their house, man. It's not asking that much. We've all struggled. Everybody needs a little help. They're over halfway there. They got like 33,000 out of 50. So let's make it happen. Come on, folks. Take out those wallets. Cheap bitches.
And we will post the video again, and we're going to do another like short little grabby trailer for them. So if you can, jump onto the GoFundMe.
The link is
Otherwise,
up on our wall,
yeah,
on our page, and go follow
the
them
show's
on
up
Twitter.
there. We'll re-promote the show. But sometimes your home isn't safe, or not even your workplace is safe, because especially for this woman, Riley Williams, who was accused of stealing a laptop from Nancy Pelosi's office on January 6th, is asking for release from her home detention from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day so she can find a job. Thoughts, anyone?
So
Anyone?
isn't home detention being in jail, but being in jail at home?
Yeah, it's home arrest.
Yes. So basically
So-
what you're doing.
Yeah. So isn't the whole point that she's supposed to be doing time?
Yes.
Which means you don't have the freedom to go and find a job. So
Correct.
suck it up, sister.
Punishment,
Do your
basically.
time and move on.
Yeah.
Here's
It's
an
a
idea.
crime. You were willing to sell it to Russia. You wanted
Yeah.
to sell that to Russia. You took it on purpose.
If
Suck it
this
up,
bitch was in jail, what's she gonna do? Be like, I'm sorry, can I get out of jail for like, you
Yeah.
know, 6 hours a day to go work because I need to make money to pay my light bill. Bitch,
She
you ain't
wants
gonna
a-
have a house.
She wants 11 hours to go find a job. Bitch, do it from the computer, and no one's going to hire you anyways.
Be a COVID
Isn't everyone
tracer.
working from home anyway? Like,
Pretty
Yeah,
is there anything
much.
work-
Not me.
Bitch, where you working?
Well, not
Where
me,
you
but-
working?
She might not have very discernible life skills that translate over the interwebs.
Jeffrey,
Well,
you
they're
trying
not
to
gonna-
excuse your poor computer
They're
skills?
not going to translate anymore anyways. Is she a felon? She's not going to get
That-
hired.
yeah.
She's an imbecile. Move. Next
She is
story.
not.
Next.
Next
We're-
story.
We're done with her.
Thank you, next. We are done.
Look, imbecile, I'm going to go with it.
Ooh,
Kevin
here's a good one.
Spacey is preparing to return to the screen. Here we go, guys. Playing the
God.
role of a detective, investigating the case of a wrongly suspected pedophile.
This is not
What
going to go well for him.
the fuck?
This is either incredibly clever from his
Right.
PR team or incredibly stupid. And frankly, I don't think we're going to know the answer until after the fact. If people's curiosity compels them to go and watch this new film just because of the irony of the whole thing, and then either discover that it's amazing and remember what a talented actor he is. And look, I have to say I'm a fan of his professional work. Obviously not a fan of his personal work.
Right.
You know, and that's the difficulty when we find these, you know, famous celebrities do these terrible things in their personal life, and yet they could have a talent, you know, at work. It's a hard call, you know.
It's a conversation we've had a lot about separating the artist from the art. And
Does
Yeah.
it
you're never
count
going to get that out.
if they haven't been charged?
Yeah.
Well,
True.
we have talked about the power of allegations before as well. So there are witnesses and stuff to this. So
But they keep bailing out and they won't go to court. Why?
Well,
And I'm
Because-
not saying he's innocent.
Oh,
I don't.
Oh,
MJ's been accused a billion times, and we still buy his records. Come on.
yes, Katie McCarthy.
90% of cases will settle out of court. I learned that today at work, by the way.
I learned things at work today, y'all.
I did. But it's also true. A lot of these people will settle out of court because one, maybe they're looking for money, maybe they're not, and two, they don't want to go through the trauma of a testifying in court, especially in cases like this, because testifying is difficult and it's rough and it's not it's not just, so what happened, honey? Tell me what's going on. It's people
Ugh.
like ripping you apart.
Oh, yeah.
tearing down
Especially
your
if
character.
Annalise Keating is the lawyer. Oh, how to get away
I
with
think-
murder. Oh.
Better today, I think, for victims, but it's still shit.
It is.
And
Yeah.
like I remember, look, this is going way back when a friend of mine and I would walk home from school every day, and when her and I had an argument at school, so she walked home herself. Anyway, it turns out that someone had been following us all this time. We know. So this man tried to abduct my friend, and luckily a nurse was leaving work at the place where it was grabbing her and was able to like drive her car into the whole thing and and get her into the car and save her. She had to sit in court in front of this man that tried to abduct her and say that was him, and she was 10.
Yeah,
Like-
it's awful. The way that we treat victims, it's terrible. I've been going through something with a friend of mine who is in a domestic violence situation, and she's all this proof of all this awful trauma to her, not just her, but her child, and they're trying to give more rights to her abuser. What is this?
Well,
You
because
know?
courts don't really care about victims, right? Because it's
they
all
don't.
about protecting somebody. They're innocent until proven guilty, and this is where it's like yin and yang. At what point do you stop protecting a person that's accused of something and believe the victim? Or do you just believe victims and throw everybody that's accused of something under the bus? Like, I don't... Go ahead.
I think, well, I can't speak for the American courts. I think the Australian courts do care about victims, but they still don't know how to care for them. And the fact that the police process, the court process, the lawyering process requires these victims to constantly retell their story, which has been shown to re-traumatize them over and over again, exacerbating anxiety, PTSD symptoms. This is not caring for the victims. You know, if they were able to streamline the process where you could just tell your story in full once, and then there was some other way this information could be relayed down the chain, then that would be caring for and caring about the victims. But yeah, I agree, Jeffrey, that's really not in place at the moment, and I think it needs to change.
Rebuttal, Miss McCarthy.
Oh, I don't have a rebuttal. Oh no, I don't have a rebuttal. I'm Team Katie. But anyway.
Team Katie's squared today.
But what I was gonna say is, I'm gonna steal the Kevin Spacey movie just to watch it. I'm announcing this.
I'm gonna
willingly.
illegally download it. She says.
I am.
Look,
We've got a
House of Cards was my favorite.
You're gonna
show.
lose your job.
It was so good. He was a great actor, so it's kind of
Oh,
devastating when it's like, oh shit.
Listen,
know,
I
like-
loved him in American Beauty. But
all right, if we're gonna talk about being reoffended and like being like reliving trauma, guys, I don't know if you've heard.
I'm
It's not
excited
showing up on my
about
screen.
this.
Why is that?
I don't know how I feel about
The
this.
Johnny Depp deletion is huge still. So Deadline is reporting that Timothée Chalamet has signed on to play the title role of Wonka in the upcoming prequel musical. Will explore the origins of the character created by Roald Dahl and famously portrayed by Gene Wilder in 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Are you ready for another taste of Wonka?
Isn't his name technically pronounced Timothée?
How is this deleted?
I don't know.
Okay, he's like,
Johnny
no.
Depp. This dude, like, look, Johnny Depp looks like he got run
Katie's
through the
not
meat
into it.
grinder at the chocolate factory, right? There's no
Yes.
way he could play an earlier version of this character anymore.
I think the main point is that they're ignoring that remake completely and making a prequel to the original film, which, let's be honest, is the superior film.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's
I
the
mean,
one
Gene,
I'm most
Gene
into.
Wilder's version still holds.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
he's
terrifying.
It
he's
is. It's
creepily-
traumatizing.
creepily charismatic, you know,
Yes.
and I do think that it would take a lot to stand up, for anyone to stand up to that version. I'm not even familiar with this Timothée person, but yeah, computer says
Katie, I
no
love you.
for me.
Oh no, I'm a fan of Timothée.
I love you, Katie. That's great.
If that's how you say it. I think he's
It's
a great
he was in Call Me by My Name, right?
actor.
Yeah, still don't
He's
know.
also
I
in
like him.
Little
I like
Women.
him a lot as an actor.
Bad
he was
queer
wonderful.
person, Katie. Bad queer
Oh,
person.
Oh, F you, all right?
Oh, it's on. This is what
Judging me.
This is what Jeffrey wants. He wants us to fight. No,
I'm all
just
about it.
so he
I got my
does.
money on Katie.
He does very erotic things with teachers, but isn't Armie Hammer in that movie?
What?
Yeah, you got to watch it, girl. This is what I
This is
mean.
getting worse. This is getting worse.
You're not talking her into
Because
it at all.
for the
It's a
four of
good
us
movie,
that are
I
here,
say.
let's be honest.
Teachers?
A lot of queer cinema is really bad, and we watch it just because it's like, yay! But
Call Me by
yeah,
My
no, there
Name
was
is not a bad movie.
no. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
no,
But a lot of it
no,
is. But
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a bit dramatic, and it was like all sexual with the peach. So that's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to
Look,
tell you.
I don't even like peaches now. If you're
Right.
I like them less.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen,
It's not going to go well for you or him.
Can I tell you a funny story about peaches?
Do I have a
no.
choice?
My friend reasons that she doesn't.
Oh my god! It's
Oh, no.
lost.
I got it.
don't
I'm back. She doesn't like peaches because she was never allowed to have a pet as a child, so she doesn't like the furry texture.
That
I love
might be.
Steph.
Have you suggested that your friend might seek out professional help?
I was gonna say,
Oh,
can we
really?
hashtag
If
this
you're a real
episode with
friend-
hashtag imbecile? I
Harry,
think
We all
that's
need help.
All right,
let's
all
get
need
to
help.
James is here.
moving on from the
We are
peaches.
moving on because we're going to re-traumatize ourselves a little bit.
Boom.
Speaking of childhood movies,
Aw.
Samuel E. Wright, the voice of Sebastian the Crab from Disney's Little Mermaid,
That's
has died
sad.
at age 74. I actually got quite nostalgic over this because I was like, I don't watch Disney movies as an adult because I'm grown. But anyway,
I do.
I don't have kids. I don't have kids. I don't have to re-traumatize myself. But I sat there and watched it, and I was like, "What is this moisture coming from my eyes?"
Oh,
like,
no.
I feel like you forget how much impact Disney has had. They're like under those Mickey Mouse horns. I swear, there's like, they've insidiously got their way into everyone's psyche.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, you listen to Kiss the Girl, and you're like, oh, shut up.
Look,
No,
Calypso
shut
Under
up.
the Sea. How can you lose? It was an iconic musical moment in modern
And
It was
history.
the best.
It has the best advice in the world.
You could all have Ariel laugh.
Get ready to be offended, everyone.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Go on.
Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
Oh my God.
I can't stand your whole fucking life. Okay.
Well, you wanted more
When you
controversy,
just say
Jeff.
that.
I'm trying to do it.
Over
I'm
the
trying to.
crab. All right, kid. Come on. What we got next?
What do we got next?
Well, wait, to be fair,
Oh, this bitch.
they
Oh, should
did
I say
hide
that out loud?
You did. You did.
Oh my
I
God,
know
are we
you
going to
Wet
go
needed.
back? Are we going to go back like a year ago to the moist vagina conversation that we had to have?
No,
Jeff?
we are not.
That was not
No.
okay.
I was
No.
just gonna say there's a penis in the castle on the cover, but anyways, go
Yeah.
forth. Go
They
forth
live.
and go
All right.
forth.
Speaking of vaginas that are destroying the world, come on. Gwyneth Paltrow's goopy vagina scent claims another
What?
victim. Colby
Holy
Watson has
shit.
filed a class action lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California this week, claims his candle exploded and his bedside engulfed in vagina-scented flames just 3 hours after he lit the candle on the 6th of February, 2021. According to the complaint, Watson filed the class action suit on behalf of himself and other purchasers of the candle, and is calling for compensation for the owners of the candle who through no fault of their own purchased a defective and dangerous vagina-scented candles. A warning on the "This smells like my vagina" candle states that it should not be left to burn for more than 2 hours at a time, which is solid advice, I
got
guess.
some stuff
So-
to say.
So her.
All right,
her
Vera,
vagina
you
is
got to go
flammable.
first.
Got
You
it.
go first.
If you are motherfucking stupid enough to buy a candle that's called "Smells Like My Vagina," then you don't get any compensation. You don't deserve to have any money. You are too fucking stupid to live.
Imbeciles. Hashtag imbeciles.
Hashtag imbecile.
I have to go straight to Katie Underwood because she looks horrified. So
I to be perfectly honest, I was unable to proceed past the words Gwyneth Paltrow's goopy vagina. I just refuse to
Oh my
read
God.
anything more after that.
I thought that was creative writing. Her company's name is Goop.
Y'all,
Like,
I just looked up
What
how much
the-
this candle costs.
Gwyneth
I'm out.
It's
Paltrow.
$75.
You don't deserve
$75.
money. If you are paying $75 for a candle that smells like somebody's vagina, fuck you. You don't get money.
And like that's
Especially.
and no joke, that's like that is actually the name of the the candle. It is actually
Yes.
this smells like
And
my.
she
Like, it's
also
not a
has
joke.
one. She also has one that's called "This candle smells like my orgasm."
Oh, just stop. Just
Like,
Gwyneth,
just
Gwyneth-
stop.
Okay,
She's so
Stop.
out of
I
best
touch.
segue ever, but Gwyneth Paltrow.
Just no.
No, don't fuck her.
Thank you,
Apparently-
next. No more goopy vaginas from Gwyneth. Thank you.
Underwood
No,
has
no.
said no more. She's
Underwood
out.
half
I'm out.
spoken. Go.
Hashtag imbecile.
Mic drop. That's it.
Hashtag imbecile.
Hashtag imbecile.
We've killed Luke today.
I'm crying today.
But all right, guys, this is a big one. I need to. This is hilarious. As soon as I saw it, I went, "Oh, girl, we have opinions on this." So I don't know if you guys saw this text message that went out from a bridezilla, with some slight demands on
Oh
her
my God.
on her wedding party.
Jesus.
So the wedding party invitation has gone viral, with the bride demanding that, one, everyone be a size 8 or hit the gym, which she actually wrote, because the
Wow.
dresses have already been pre-purchased. There will be no fake tans, no shoulder-length hair, short, natural-colored nails, and this is the kicker: a $500 donation to her honeymoon fund.
Yeah, how's get fucked sound?
Fuck you,
Nah,
fuck
man.
Gwyneth
I mean,
Paltrow.
Katie, we're going to start with you. I mean,
Have a nice life, bitch.
you got that message. If you got that
What the fuck
message,
is that?
if you got that message, what would your response be?
I'd go,
Right?
how's get fucked sound? That's what I would say. And have a nice honeymoon on your skateboard, because that's all you're getting out of me. Bye. No,
Vera.
No. She can go
I got
live with Gwyneth.
I gotta tell you though, I worked as a wedding coordinator when I was in nursing school. Every bride is a bridezilla. I don't care how nice you think they are. When it's all about their day. They're fucking bridezillas.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bride threaten me because I would not allow her to nail her bows into antique, uniquely designed Louis Comfort Tiffany pews, and she had a hissy fit. And then her fiance called me up to tell me how cruel and unkind I was to this bride. And all I could think is, dude, run. Dude.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
I would just
Get
like
out
to
now.
say I was not a bridezilla. It was my mother who was like Gramzilla.
I
That
don't believe you for a
bitch
second.
was out of control. I had nothing to do. You can go listen to the whole saga on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio,
Blog
all
Talk
those things.
Radio.
Yeah, you can go listen to all those shows. It was about June and May of 2012. You can hear my ex-husband's sister call the Power Ranger. See you next Tuesday. It was a great time.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Huge drama.
Because Karen's like, she just called me a...
She
It's
sure
amazing.
did. It was
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, I
Who does
was
that
not
to a
right
Power
there.
Ranger?
I didn't care at the end. I didn't want to deal with none of it. I tell everybody, go elope, because getting
I wanted
weddings
to elope.
suck.
I wanted to
horrible.
I
elope.
agree.
I wanted to elope.
Not fun.
I'm just going to state that for the record. I wanted to elope.
I wanted it simple, easy. I wanted everybody to be relaxed in comfortable clothing, no drama, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. And it just, I had no choice. My mother took over, and then she's like, I'm just trying to help you. You're so ungrateful. You're such a cold child. I don't know what I did wrong.
If I ever get married at this stage,
Probably
of the
dropping
game,
you.
I am going to get married by flying Elvis, and it's just gonna be me and my groom.
Well, look, there's only one of us in here that's had a secret marriage. So
Yeah.
how
no,
did you get away with that under media scrutiny, Katie Underwood? We have talked about it before, but
well, we lied. So, that's how people get away with stuff. I did elope. We eloped because we wanted to kind of keep it under wraps, and it was relatively simple to organize. We hired a 1-bedroom cabin, which we had gone away on holidays for our first getaway. So we just hired that little cabin. We had the ceremony in the cabin. with an officiated celebrant, my parents, his parents, my sister, his sisters for witnesses, and that was it. We ate some food and said, happy day, and let's get married. So, yeah, that was relatively simple. And then 5 years later, we did it again. But to keep costs low and drama low, we told 50 of our closest family and friends that we were celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary. So they just thought they were coming to a dinner. We told the florists we were having an anniversary party, so they did not triple their costs. We had a cake made and said it's for an anniversary, so they did not triple their costs. I think the most expensive part was we put $2,000 on the bar, and that was a gift from my then husband's father, which was very generous. And we had a lovely evening. 3-course dinner, mix and mingle, renewed our vows. It was really, really
And
relaxed.
you got tanked?
So
Good
I
times.
suppose, probably back then. Yeah.
Good
So
times.
no, I don't consider myself to ever have had a real wedding. So I managed to do it twice and never be a bridezilla. But you know, I'm not the average bride.
Never
so.
followed the trends, have you, Katie?
No.
I don't
She
think
just
I,
creates them, babes. Creates those trends.
I don't think I was a bridezilla, but I also didn't want the big wedding, so I was.
But you would have been a bridezilla.
I
Come
wasn't. I
on.
swear to God. I swear to God.
Red
I didn't
too.
want this
No.
big wedding, so every time something got stressful, I kind of hid. Like, no. Was not into
Well,
it.
look, different recollections
Do I need to
are
get the
quite
husband in here?
different recollections are quite common.
Wow.
So there's been one in the in the zeitgeist at the moment. So Steve-O has spoke out against Bam Margera. So if these names mean nothing to you, it's Jackass. Bam Margera launched a social media tirade against his former Jackass castmates, saying that he was left betrayed, spelt wrong, good work, whoever actually copy and pasted that from a real article, abandoned and rejected, it was me,
Oh, betrayed.
after being removed from the upcoming Jackass 4 with scathing comments leveled at Johnny Knoxville and director Jeff Tremaine. Sober castmate Steve-O has stepped up to reveal another side of the story. So basically, Steve-O has come out and read Bam to filth, saying, Bam, the two people you're saying wronged you, Knoxville and Tremaine, thank you, Luke, are the same two people who organized the intervention which saved my life. Everyone bent over backwards to get you in the movie, and all you had to do was not get loaded. You continued to get loaded. It's that simple. We all love you every bit as much as we say we do, but nobody who really loves you can enable you to or encourage you to stay sick. Now, that's very much par for the course when you're dealing with someone who has any kind of addiction issue. There's always at least two sides to every story. At what point does your truth outweigh theirs? I mean, obviously he's entitled to his feelings, but it's not necessarily
Bam has
the
been
truth,
in and
is
out
it?
of rehab constantly. He
I feel-
just left a stint. He doesn't want to stay there. He doesn't want to do it. Now he got some celebrity guru chick who's supposed to help him stay sober. But if they're throwing him off the movie, there's a reason. It wasn't because he was having a bad day. It's because he was getting loaded. So
Yeah.
what does he expect? You can't get fucked up and do your job. Bye.
I feel kind of bad for him. I mean, in a way, think about all he went through losing Ryan Dunn, and granted,
We all have trauma.
well, I'm just saying, think about that. He lost his best friend because of alcohol, and now he's just like a slave to it. It's sad. It's very,
And
very
the thing,
sad.
the thing is, you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. No matter how
Exactly.
hard, no matter where your intention lies, and no matter how much you want them to want it. If they don't want it or can't want it yet, you can't force that. And especially on a movie like Jackass, where they're doing highly dangerous stuff, you can't have someone that's like that off the rails that could potentially kill himself or any number of other people.
But
Like I feel for it, but you can't. I feel for him, but we've all been. Everyone knows someone who's been through some kind of substance abuse issue, if not ourselves or whatever.
At
But
some point,
you've got to want to help
Mhm.
yourself first when it comes down to it. Otherwise, it's not going to stick. Katie
Well, that's
Underwood.
it.
I will say that, congratulations to Steve-O for getting sober. That's amazing. I will also say, though, from personal and professional experience, it's incredibly difficult, near impossible, to have an objective view of your own behaviour when you are loaded from the outside. I think we underestimate the negative impact we have on the people in our lives when our addiction is in full swing. And it's all very well to go back afterwards once you get sober and go, well, now that I look at this situation with sober eyes, why am I not included? But he's not counting out the amount of times that I well imagine he must have let them down, disturbed them, upset them, frightened them, concerned them. And that's simply something that his old castmates are not willing to go through, and they shouldn't have to. There's no rule that you have to keep giving someone infinite amounts of chances. Sometimes that's just the price we pay for the choices that we make, and it sounds like Steve-O just has a few more steps to work through in forgiving himself and others, and maybe taking a little more accountability for what's gone down, whatever that is.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
In another sense, it's Jackass. Like, how many of these movies were they drunken or high in beforehand? Like, this is not like some Oscar-winning film. These
I
people
think
were
it matters. I think it matters more now, Katie. The fact that a lot of those guys have family now. They've got cultural influence now. That what their actions were back in the day was cute and funny, and everyone loved it. And
They're not jackasses anymore.
But everyone's entitled to live their lives the way they want to live their lives. But they are, for want of a better term, they are role models to people. You know what I mean? When you step into this lifestyle in the media, people look at you and go, "Oh my God, what are they doing? They're my favorite person in the world. I'm going to model my behavior after that." So if they're not that they're promoting drug use or anything like that, but it's a very sticky line to walk where you go. You can't. They can't condone that behavior. You can't condone that behavior.
Oh no! And I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
it really just feels a lot like pot calling the kettle black. And these guys are like in their mid 40s, early 50s, and still doing this shit. So come on, like, what are you?
Ryan Coughlin. Well, the problem is they all got fucked up together. Now Bam is still getting drunk, and it's a problem. It's kind of fucked up, but they do care about him. But to completely kick him off is really
I don't agree.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
I think
don't agree with it.
Been to rehab.
You can't sit with us, Coughlin.
As Bam has, and as many times as he's not completed rehab or walked out of it because he just decided to go get fucked up again. At some point, and I feel like as a whole, we're not okay with cutting people off and saying enough is enough. I'm done.
No.
I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not dealing with this anymore. People are very averse to it.
It's a savior complex. So people want to save people.
Yes.
Right. But here's the thing. When I tell people, like, I cut my family off, right? There wasn't alcohol involved, but it's toxic behavior. They're potheads, whatever. People can't handle it. They're like, but that's your mother. That's your father. That's your best friend. How did you give away your best friend after the marriage ended? Because it was toxic. It wasn't healthy for me anymore. And I picked me. I don't care. Like, you want to keep fucking up your life, you go do it over there on your ground.
That is a behavior I've had to
playground.
That's a behavior I've had to learn to stop doing to people because I need to see where they're coming from. Well, no, I'm saying I was one of those people that would be like, you gave up your mother? Why? That's your mother. And I had to understand people's relationships are 100% different. And it's their prerogative, and it's their mental health, and it's their life that they're doing.
Well, your gauge of your relationship and your mother doesn't mean it matches someone else's relationship with their mother.
Exactly.
And I guess we all go off our own experience, but it's just understanding that everyone else's experience is a little bit different.
Look, time
or a lot.
Time gives you a lot of perspective on youth and mistakes and all that kind of thing. So, with that in mind, we're going to move on we're going to move on to a section.
Sorry, Vera.
Sorry, Vera. But
Okay.
she's about to go off anyway in a second. We're going to go on to a section I like to call The View from Here.
If this motherfucking view ain't about friends, bitch, you might as well just end this.
It
fucking
is,
show
girl.
right
It
now.
is. Because Jeffrey has been traumatized by the Friends reunion.
Oh, you watched it already? Is it on?
He said,
Bitch, are you
girl,
kidding?
Tonight.
girl,
Oh, wait,
you
I
said you
thought this
cried.
was because
You
those
said
10
you
years
cried.
old, so we're like,
You said
our
you
show's 10
cried.
years.
You
Oh, I
said you
did.
cried.
I
So yeah.
Oh, Jeff did.
Um,
I'm saying,
want-
I said nothing.
So the Friends reunion was 20 years, right? Is it 20 years,
Yeah,
the
I think
reunion?
it's 20.
Is it
17 years.
Oh, okay.
17 years.
It debuted 27 years ago and it ended 17.
So the show, Jeffrey, debuted 10 years ago. I want to ask each of you, where do you want to be in 10 years' time?
Fucking dead.
Pat.
Well, I'm going to start with who. Oh, this is going to be fun. Who do I start with? Katie McCarthy.
God damn it. No.
10 years. Well, how old will the boys be?
16 and it depends on
So she's going to be
11
10.
and a half.
Oh, girl, your sheets are going to be ruined. That's where you're going to be.
What?
Oh,
Oh, I
Teenage
get it now.
boys.
Teenage boys.
My sheets are already ruined, but
Oh,
it's not like that.
the less said about the nugget couch, the better.
All right, in 10 years, I am hoping to be a little more financially stable than I am right now. Maybe a lot of debt paid off. Hoping my boys have a nice little college fund or education fund or whatever they want to do with their future fund kind of started. Maybe my house is paid off. Probably not. My college debt's definitely not paid off.
That's not happening.
But I'm just hoping in 10 years I'm a little more stable than I am right now. Because I'll be inching towards 50. And if Kyle's still alive, then maybe
Kyle, watch out, girl. You in danger. Now, Luke,
he knows. He knows.
speaking of people that are in danger, you will have a 14-year-old daughter in 10 years'
finished.
time. And she's
you already saw the photo she did with the poncho.
The sassy modeling shots that she did this weekend. As Jeffrey said, oh, you are in for so much trouble. But
She is a sassy little one.
she's a sassy child. Where do you hope to be in 10 years?
Alive. Also, look, I honestly don't know, because I kind of have these ideas. Like, honestly, I don't want to be still back in a regional area. I would like to go back to the city. So that's like a little thing. I'm going into a different area with my work life right now, so I think it's going to lead me to other places and open those doors for me. Am I being really boring about this?
No.
Just be
Kind
honest.
of
That's
amazing,
all we want.
though.
And
maybe.
yeah, that's pretty much it. But you know, I think my daughter will probably outtalk me and negotiate me on every front, because she's doing it now at age 4. And sometimes her arguments make sense, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, even when
they
it comes
sneak
back
up on
with,
you.
I'll ask her to do something, and she'll be like, but I'm just a kid.
Oh.
And it kind of makes sense, and I'm like, oh shit, she knows how to spin it. So I don't know. Yeah, so alive, maybe living back in the city. Well, I hope living back there in the next couple of years, but we'll see. And more professionally developed, you know, and sell my house and another property. There you go.
I'm going to jump to someone who will have adult children by 10 years' time.
Oh, that would be me.
That would be you, girl.
Yeah, so in 10 years, my girls will be 19. I predict they'll probably still be living at home if they're studying. So I'll still have the full house. I would love to be able to be in a position to buy the house that I'm currently living in. My landlord lives next door in a house that looks just like this, and he'd happily sell it to me, but I just am not quite in a position to buy it. So who knows how the financial wheel of fortune might spin in my favor in the next 10 years. So that would be good. Career-wise, my long-term goal would be to travel nationwide or even internationally on the motivational speaker circuit, inspiring people to live happy, healthy, passionate lives, and probably promoting a book that I will have just written in my 50s. So that's my visioning. Still producing music, no doubt, and probably doing something else that I can't even imagine right now. But I think I'll still be driven by my passion to inspire and lead and teach people in some form or other. And healthy, robust and healthy is my vision for 10 years from now.
If 2020 taught us anything, you never know what's around the corner, isn't that
You never
right?
do.
Really.
You never do.
Now, Vera.
Wait, can I add? I also want a vagina-scented candle release.
Oh, no.
I hope it doesn't
Please
smell like
don't.
your
Wait,
vagina.
I would like to add one more thing. Katie, does your 10-year plan include donuts still?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Many donuts will be eaten in the next 10 years.
I
Yes.
All right,
support this
Vera,
goal.
come on. What's your plans? Hopefully retirement.
Retired. I want
Yeah,
to be
girl.
retired. I want to be doing local theater and traveling the globe at will.
That's the way to do it. So,
Are you going to
Jeffrey,
be cougaring?
You know, who knows?
Are you gonna get that D, Vera? Get that D.
I ain't ruling nothing out.
speaking of getting that D, Jeffrey, where
First
are you
off,
going to be?
Fuck every last one of you bitches. The 10-year anniversary, and not one person was like, well, I hope the show gets picked up and it turns into a success and we get fucking paid.
I haven't had my say yet.
Rotted
Thank you.
bitches. May you all rot out. Fuck you all, okay? First. Second, as long as my kids are healthy, happy, and having a productive life, that's really all that matters to me. Financially, I hope that I get to work on my passion projects. I hope that I refine my creativity in the next 10 years. And I hope that I figure out how to be happy.
I hope you
Ooh,
figure out how to be
I
happy
hope
too,
so,
because you're a
too.
grumpy bitch.
That was deep, girl. Well, I'm going to say, my hope for the next 10 years is that we ride this pony into very weird and wonderful territories. I think that I can't wait until international travel comes back, because I would love for us to actually, we've had a pipe dream of doing a live show. So I would love to get over to the US and actually do a live show with actual people, and we can Skype in Underwood from overseas, and she can be like, "What's going on?" That'd be great.
Come. I say, why can't she come?
Katie, pack the girls. We're going to the US.
I want to come. No,
You're gonna leave the girls, aren't you? Like, mummy has to work. Bye.
They'll be old enough. They'll be wanting me to take them to Vegas by that point.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah,
We'll leave the girls together,
I'll
Katie.
meet in
Put
Vegas.
all the girls together.
Well, your girls will be
And
old
we'll
enough to
go-
watch everyone else's kids, because they won't be old enough to be. They won't be 21 yet, so it'll be great.
Yeah.
They can watch everyone's kids.
I already
Yeah.
trust your kids, Katie. It's cool.
Hopefully we can keep riding this machine into something weird and wonderful and different. I really just hope. I feel like I've always felt in my heart that I won't stay in Australia. So hopefully, in my travels, I'll meet someone that wants to adopt me, and
Welcome to
Give me a-
America.
give me a green
Keep
card.
dreaming.
Give me
I
a
like to
green
see it in
card.
America. Okay,
Yeah.
baby, in America.
But yeah, look,
Well,
I just
Steve-
want I also want my family and friends to be happy and healthy. As I said with to Katie, with Katie, 2020 has been such a kick in the nuts for everyone that I think it really brings things back to the core. The best you can hope for is that you, your family, your friends, the ones that you love, lead happy, healthy, productive, dream-filled lives. So that's my hope for the future. Doesn't it sound very Disney?
It does.
Hey, in 10
Sounded
years,
very under the
we may
sea.
be able to arrange this marriage, Steve.
Yeah, look, look, I can cook, I don't clean.
I already told him, like, if he wants to move here, I would just marry him so he can move here. But he's got to
Could
live
you
somewhere
imagine
else.
that?
Told me that too, though, Steve. Don't feel
That's
special.
the next Jeff. That's the
can't
next
live-
reality show.
That is the next reality show.
That's the next reality show. That's not all right. Well, look, we're gonna run out of time, but we're gonna go a little bit longer because we cannot end this show without gathering round the warmth of Vera's Vents. All right, girl, are you ready?
I'm ready. I got my
Okay,
notes.
ready, set, vent.
It's been a very weird day here in New York State, and several things have rolled in together to create today's rant. Number one, Jeff Bezos is about to be a trillionaire, the richest man on the planet. Number two, New York State Health Program, a fictitious 501c3, is already gearing up for the single payer fight, trying to get people to sign on and realize that single payer is a bad thing. Even though insurance companies in this state, not in the country, we're just talking New York State, have enough money to name the Blue Cross Arena and the MetLife Stadium. Come on, people. They're making money off of us. Money off of people being sick. Number three, there was a tweet today about a child needing an electronic wheelchair. And this technics class got together and they built this kid a wheelchair for free. And it was a feel-good story for the nation. But this is a dystopian tale. We have a child in a wheelchair who can't afford what he needs. And the last thing that happened today is that our dear friend Jeff has found the Maxwell family and has adopted them as our clause celeb for Uncensored Radio. And how do all of these tie in? We need to get our act together here, country. This is bullshit. This country is so out of whack. The wealth in this country is disproportionate to the poverty. There are, as of today, 2 million plus people in this country that are worth $1 million or more. There are 251 people in Auburn, New York, in the 13021 zip code that are worth $1 million. Okay? There are 20 million millionaires total in this country. 20 million. 13 million people are worth more than $1 million. And 14 million people are worth more than $10 million. There are 90,000 people worth more than $50 million. And there are 790 billionaires in this country. And Jeff Bezos is about to be a trillionaire. We need to get our act together. The fact that the Maxwell family has to have a GoFundMe to buy a house so that they can provide the kind of low stimulation, safe environment for their son is beyond ridiculous. This is a crime. We should all be ashamed of our country. We need to get our act together and realign our priorities so this can be the land of the free and the home of the brave, not the land of the billionaires and the home of the poor. Now, I did the research on the other end. Do you know how many people in this country live in poverty? We are the wealthiest country on the planet. And we have 40 million people in poverty. 27 million of those people are children. Come on, tax the rich, figure it out, set up a safety net for our citizens. This is beyond ridiculous. It is criminal.
Eat the rich, not tax them. Eat them. Fuck them.
Compost them. They're all fucks.
Fuck them.
Vera, maths. Every time with the numbers, it confuses the pretty people. Don't do it.
Love you, Vera. That was beautiful.
Very well said, Vera. Look,
Well said.
we're gonna end this show with a bit of a palate cleanser because you got to end on a happy note. And guys, Channing Tatum knows his audience.
Ooh, Lordy.
So
yeah.
this little post to social media has Channing. You got to look at it, guys. His caption reads.
I have.
His caption reads, when you're in the makeup trailer, asshole naked, holding a towel over your junk, you're about to do some shit on set that you're going to have to prepare mama for before seeing the movie. Ironically, not so much, the movie is called The Lost City of D.
Now,
Which kind of reads like my dating life, right?
He
Wow!
won it.
Wow!
Great.
Put it in my mouth. My motherfucking mouth.
Is there much more to say about him than this?
No.
No.
I have a quick question. Is this like a follow up to Magic Mike 2 or something?
Katie, do you care?
No, I don't care, but I'm just curious.
He is fucking
Look,
sex
want the
on a
monkey.
stick.
Oh, actually, Steve,
My
Now,
before we
eyeball
go off
deactivated
air-
my brain.
I'm looking this up.
I was going to say, before we go off air, do we really care about the remake on Amazon about I Know What You Did Last Summer?
You
We
do.
didn't even
but,
talk about the Friends reunion.
I
We don't give
do,
a fuck.
but we're going off air. Like,
Bye.
do we do
I
it?
talked about Friends, but look,
No, we
I thought
didn't. Bye.
Channing would make everyone happy.
I thought Chan was good. He made me a
I
bit
am
wet.
happy.
It's cool.
I loved it. I love that we're all like, objectification is wrong unless it's Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
He's gonna be naked with Sandy
Hey.
Bullock. I'm in.
He's
Yeah.
consenting.
He
I'm
should
sure
have.
he's a
looked
very
at
good actor.
I'm sure he's a very
Yeah.
nice man.
I
Boy
bet his
can
ass
dance.
tastes like
He
strawberries.
can dance. Oh, boy can dance.
Oh, Jeff, we need to isolate that one.
His
All right,
abdominals
so
are
how do we
acting
feel about
very
this?
hard.
Does anyone
Look, no one
care
cares.
about this
No
right
one
now?
cares but
No
you.
one cares.
I didn't think so. I didn't
No
think
one
so.
cares.
I wanted to say.
I
No
didn't
one
care the
cares
first
but
Channing
you.
time.
Tatum's dick or, Jennifer
I
Love
care
Hewitt
more
being
about the
replaced.
Friends reunion.
No one cares, Luke.
Listen, some people prefer Jennifer's T's over Channing's D. Okay.
Look, I think
We have to cater
everyone.
to everyone.
True. True.
I do like though. He said yes. I was flexing so hard that I got a
A
cramp.
cramp.
Yeah.
Really-
So look, I think Channing's very down to earth because he freely admits when he stops working out and gets he gets chunky. He gets chunky like everyone else, but
Get normal.
We're
girl
really
can
still
also
talking
get
about this?
shredded for days.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that everyone would appreciate a good shredding. Okay, we love you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye, kids.
So yes, the official closing statement for UCR is that we would all like to be Channing his Tatum. Thank you.